You're listening to an Awkward Human podcast on the 5x5 network. If you want to find out more about this show and all the other cool stuff that we do, visit awkwardhuman.com. Hello and welcome to the Awkward Human Survival Guide. This week we're talking about
Gay Sugar Baby Cluster Part 2.
Winning back your ex.
and recycled relationships. Hello and welcome to the episode. I'm Adam Dodge.
I'm Erica Elson. We're joined.
I'm Richard Cardenas.
That's how you're saying it.
I'm Darren, and I can't take your looks to camera.
Very Mexican.
My what?
I can't take the way you look at the camera. It's haunting.
I look through the camera. I don't look at it.
I don't know. It's a podcast. I don't know what's going on here. Howard Stern,
He hasn't been here for so long that he's aged 40 years and is now old man Darren.
Okay, well, I'm not the one who just turned 40 last night.
If we didn't have the camera,
Neither
no
am
one
I.
could see you wrapped in that
Neither is
lovely
anyone.
blanket
That's true.
from
You're not as wrapped
Restoration
as
Hardware,
before.
circa 2006.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah, I need a real nice brooch.
Yeah, I'm just afraid I have not acquired a brooch for the blanket yet.
Blanket brooch. Well, new product for the store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Available at awkwardhuman.com/shop. You should go there, buy something, support us. It's cool stuff.
If Mrs. Pence can have towel charms, we can have blanket brooches.
Mrs. Pants?
Pence?
Oh, Mrs. Pence.
What about Mrs. Chung?
Should change the name to Mrs.
Guys,
Pants.
when are we going to Panda Inn?
I know I want to
not
go
gonna
or
do it.
Panda Tree Hut.
We should make plans on the show so we have it on the record.
I'm not
I won't do
planning it.
that. My lawyers won't allow
If
that.
you plan it, I'll go, but I'm not planning it. I don't
Where's
care that much.
where's this
Let's
like
just go next weekend.
laying down like no I'm very busy.
Oh,
I mean, next weekend we have the cardboard carnival.
what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we can go for lunch before.
Yeah. Well, good. Now everybody knows our plans. How about
Is Darren coming with us to the cardboard carnival?
No, he doesn't do anything.
Well, we have to
Well, I
bring Darren
invited
to
him.
Panda Inn.
I've been invited.
No, he only hangs out with his cool friends.
I
He doesn't hang
invited
out with
Darren
us.
last
That is
week.
true.
You have to come to Panda Inn. It won't be complete without you.
Well, then don't go on Saturday. I don't know. I can't. You guys want me to commit like
You were just
7
like,
years
when
in
are we gonna
advance.
go?
You have to commit. You want me to commit 7 years in advance?
It's
I've got a great idea.
You got to ask me 36 hours before the event.
idea. Let's
Let
do
me
the
look at
show.
my calendar. We're doing it. This is the show.
It's not that, no, we have a lot to cover.
This-
People love it when we make plans on
Today
the
is
show.
the show.
This is why
No
we
one
get.
loves it.
This
No
is
one-
why we get.
I don't even like it.
This is why we get questions from kids that are like, "I'm 15 and I was depressed about getting older, but you guys seem to be having so much fun. How do you do it?" This is how we do it.
Yeah, we host a podcast where we sometimes answer your questions
And sometimes
but
make
mostly
plans.
just make plans to go eat Chinese food together.
Not just
That's
any
so much
Chinese
fun,
food.
though.
Chung Chinese food.
Yeah. Yeah.
No comment. I
Flashback.
take the fifth.
Okay, so we have questions to get to today, which are oddly similarly themed. I said that like I was angry about it. I'm not.
You also said similarly like Samoanly things.
Samoanly. Oh.
Samoan.
It's
like,
possible, but I'm not aware of the Samoan connection.
Hi, I'm from Tonga. I am from Samoa. I'm a 24-year-old cisgendered male from Tonga, from the South Pacific.
Yeah. Well, someone's gotta. If you are one of those people, please write us in.
Oh,
Save it
please.
for Darren's next appearance.
Thank you, which will probably be in 7 years.
Mhm.
Well, it's more like 7 episodes. That was actually how long
Seems
ago the last
Was
one
it really?
Yeah,
I knew
you were
it
on
had something to do with 7.
202. Oh, no, maybe it was 8.
This is why we have to book you far in advance because otherwise you're like, I'm busy all the time.
It's like
Well, we've had a lot of guests
lightning.
lately, so
You
that's
can't catch
part
it
of
in a bottle, but sometimes you can bear witness to it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we all have stories today.
Yeah, sure.
I think Erica's is the longest, so we should probably save that for last. And ours is the shortest, so we'll start, and Darren can be the meat. Of the
Ours?
sandwich. Well, I just wanted to mention
You're
our
like
little.
shocking me with your stories as always.
As
I mean,
always.
first of all, I said, and we have one while I was explaining to you earlier before the show, and you just forgot. But I'm referring to our landlord and the fish tank.
Oh, good. So it's going to be
That's
a
not
landlord
really-
theme.
Okay, sure.
It's not that awkward. I just
Get ready to be very fascinated, everyone.
Oh, wow.
No, I just thought she
Wouldn't be the awkward show
Why don't you
without
start since you're already talking about it?
Yeah, we had our garbage disposal broke again, and we had it repaired, and that's not interesting, obviously. But
No.
we get a letter from her. I tried to figure out what was wrong with the garbage
email.
disposal. Oh yeah, email. It's still a letter, but I get your point. she sent a message because I was trying to figure out what was wrong with it, but the guy just like disappeared before I could ask him. And we get this email saying that like, we found a pebble in there and we're going to have to bill you next time. So you really need to stop cleaning your fish tank in the kitchen sink. And I'm like, what fish tank? We're vegetarians, so we don't own fish.
Wait. But you own a dog, a cat, some lizards.
No, I'm saying we're vegetarians and we don't own fish. They're separate.
But what does the vegetarian thing have to do with anything?
Because we don't eat fish and we don't own fish.
But people who eat fish don't own fish tanks.
I'm saying we don't interact with fish in any way.
Have you watched Finding Nemo in the house?
No.
Jaws?
No. I haven't even watched Finding Nemo in the City or the sequel.
I've never seen them at all, so there you go. But
you haven't seen Finding Nemo?
I'm not the one.
We saw it in Santa Barbara.
He said in this city.
Oh,
I'm not the one who's clearly washing pebbles in my sink. So how does this? What happened? So you told her that?
We're not. I'm just like, why did she come up with that as an example? He thinks it's because the guy saw the gecko
they look
tanks,
like fish tanks,
but
without water.
Yeah, but they're not, and
well, so what happened?
it's weird that I told her we don't have a fish tank. It's not that.
That's what I'm saying.
What did she get back? Did she get back to you?
It's more of not really.
No.
Because our garage broke.
I think this is the awkward part. I don't.
No, the story. I'm not saying the story was interesting. I'm confused as to. I think it's just bizarre that she brought up a pebble.
I don't know if it's bizarre. I think
It's not bizarre
in that
because you have
context.
tanks that look like fish tanks.
That's
I think
what
it's
I said.
an honest mistake.
Why is the guy blaming our fish tank?
don't
When it's not a
know.
fish tank,
Look,
he didn't even look at it.
He saw that a tank full of rocks was
She also
empty.
knows we don't have fish because it's on the lease. She said no fish.
No
It says
fish?
no fish on
Yeah.
the lease.
Well, also you're not supposed to have a cap. You have
Wait,
that,
can
so.
you prepare fish?
Thanks for-
We're gonna strike that from the record.
Can you prepare? Wait, but you can have
started
a.
this whole thing
wait,
about the animals.
Wait, you
Yeah.
can't have a
That
cat,
that
but you can
cat
have a
is
dog.
Vacationing only 5 days a year, so don't make it
How
sound
is
like
no one-
No stipulation against a
With
dog.
the amount of
Not.
times your garbage disposal has broken, how has no one ever met your vacationing cat?
because it's vacationing.
So it's just not here on those days.
It's only been here once when a maintenance person was here, and it was definitely not this time.
The dog and the geckos are on the lease.
Mhm.
The geckos
Okay.
are on the lease.
I have a question about fish tanks and cleaning them.
Oh,
Where do you put the fish when you clean the fish tank?
you have little like.
Oh wait, she did reply.
Little
She's
compartment
insane.
thing.
You're a woman. You shouldn't have to ask that.
Oh, gross.
Don't make me flick my tongue at you.
I never make you do it. You just do it on your own will.
I did it to camera as well.
That's the answer.
Hmm. Well, on to Darren.
I feel like we should segue into mine because it's about landlords.
Okay, you really want to talk, huh?
No, I just think
No,
it's thematically related.
Although mine could involve landlord discussion.
You guys figure it out. I'm gonna go refocus your camera.
Okay, go ahead, Darren.
Oh well, I'm supposed to talk about my massage.
Yeah.
Well, the awkward thing actually, Erica was
Yeah,
somewhat
it was
a
really
party to
funny.
it. Was it's not what you want me to talk about, which I will get to. But I arrived there on time, and I'm standing outside there. I ring on the doorbell, nothing. I wait there. I ring on the doorbell again, nothing. And I'm texting Erica, and I'm like, I'm outside.
No, this is the funny part, is that I'm texting Darren about a restaurant?
Suavecito.
Oh, yeah. So we're talking about Suavecito. And
Can you give context for that? Because I don't think the listeners
a song.
were around.
Years ago, at one of Erica's birthdays, we
just a song.
ended up at an Oxnard Mexican restaurant with karaoke, and there was a really good rendition of Suavecito that I believe everyone did. A man at the restaurant dance with Fran, independent of
Yeah.
everything, and then everyone got
the
up.
whole restaurant
Yeah,
danced.
Fran
to it.
being like probably 20, early 20s, or was she actually? I don't know. She was young at the time and dancing with a
She's
much
young
older
now.
man that she didn't know, which is a Fran thing for sure. But
Anyhow, so that's an old Suavecito as a runner.
So we're texting back
That
and
is a
forth.
Fran thing. She danced with
Yeah.
our waiter at the Greek
well,
restaurant.
he wasn't gonna not let that happen. That guy
but like
was
she does
really
dance with
going
people at
for it.
restauants. Interesting.
Yeah,
a restaurant
but
dancer.
this was actually a dancing restaurant. That restaurant was not. And
well, so that's
but you had a very funny version of the song, and so when we say Suavecito, we're referring to like this crazy weird improv thing that just came out of nowhere that we unfortunately do not have on tape.
that I sang.
No, he didn't sing it.
I sang Sweet 16.
Sweet
That was the
16,
improv, and then I did Justin
Suavecito was
Bieber's
when the
Baby.
entire restaurant turned into a dance floor, and we were like,
Oh.
"What is happening?"
But they had
guess I gotta
I
wish
won
that was been so
I
long.
won them over to us with Sweet 16.
And I think it started with Baby.
It might have started with Baby. Many of them
was like, oh.
Many of them were telling me, "Oh, don't worry, you won't be single long," or something like that. A lot of the older Mexican ladies were like, "Don't worry, you'll be fine."
Yeah. So, anyways, we're texting about this, and we're going back and forth for a while, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out which version is correct, like the one that we heard at the party, because there's so many different versions, and I realized it's probably the one that's Suavecito, Suavecito in the title.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, can you just listen to it on Spotify? And he's like, I can't, I'm about to get rubbed by Paula. And we keep talking, and like 3 minutes later, he's like, well, actually, I've been standing at her door this entire time, and she hasn't answered. It's been like 7 minutes that I've been knocking and ringing the doorbell.
Oh.
What should I do? And I was
You didn't mention that.
You just now thought to bring this up? Like, I just thought it was really funny that, like, during this whole conversation, he had just been waiting for her to open the door. And he's like, should I call her? And I was like, yeah, you should call her.
I'd already not. Yeah, I should have. And then she found me. I think I texted her, though. And then she got that.
What was her excuse?
Oh, I didn't hear you. She was puttering around and maybe she was meditating. But I think she might have been in the shower because she had like greaser hair. It was like all slicked. I don't remember her ever putting product in her hair.
Yeah, I don't either.
But she also had sent me when I confirmed the time with her, she had sent me a rainbow emoji. Which
I
added
feel like
I
your
think that's just
relationship
like
with Paula
acknowledgement.
is very different than mine, and she won't admit to that.
I think part of the reason I haven't gone back is because now Darren's just like got all the weird stuff.
He gets everything
and I just
from
don't.
her.
I don't have I got the massage chair, and now I get all the stories.
But you don't get the
I don't-
Owen sleeping in between your legs while getting the massage stories.
no, I haven't had that.
No, of course not, because Owen's dead.
Right. That's
Red
the cat or big red man.
Red
Big
Owen.
Well, she was cycling through names and never picked one, and then the cat died.
Well, don't
And it
worry,
was
she
like
never
8.
picked one for the new cats either.
Yeah.
Last time I asked her about it, she was like, right now I'm going with this. And I was like, how long have you had the cats for? And she's like, a year.
Yeah, they don't pick names. She told
It's
that's
weird.
If you recall, Thug Life was going to be the name of the cat for a while, but
I sat her down the other day because I had a particularly good massage.
Maybe that's more fun.
And I tried to get stuff out of her because I was like, Darren always gets these great stories. So I was like, so are you still going to San Diego? And she's like, yep. And I was like, are you still doing this? And it was completely normal. She didn't give me anything.
And here's your mistake. You asked her when you were sitting down, right? I talked to her while she's rubbing me.
Oh, I don't like
so
that.
her
No.
so
Oh,
her
no.
so
No, I
her
can't do
guard
that.
is down.
I need to go to sleep.
Your guard is down.
No, we start that way, and then she gets into a particular like naughty area, and I shut up. Then I turn over, like back with my head up. I'm like, well, this is awkward because my eyes are open and I'm looking at the ceiling.
Oh, I close my eyes.
Oh, yeah, I always close
I
my
think
eyes.
too, but I can't. I don't trust her.
She's so business minded when she's not rubbing.
But when she's rubbing, she's in her element, and that's when she confesses.
Do you keep your underwear on?
Yes, she has instructed me to do so.
Yeah, I
Yes.
asked her what she'd prefer, and she said, "You can leave it on."
What do you?
Yeah.
You don't go fully nude?
No.
Because I think she'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I figured because she was a lesbian, she probably wouldn't want the underwear off. But I don't know if it's just like her personal discomfort or.
I mean, I don't think I would want to be naked completely.
I just don't want to
It's
get
a little
an
weird
erection.
to me.
I don't care. About
Exactly.
The
I was
naked
wondering
part.
what would happen if you
Right.
got flipped over and you had gotten so relaxed that your dicks just started getting hard and you flip over and then like the sheet's on you and it's really obvious that you have an
I've
erection.
gotten half an erection there before.
Oh.
I think it's because I think about it.
Was it noticeable when you flipped over?
No, I know how to get rid of them. You just have to pull the blood out of it. Sorry, that sounds really horrible. You have
Just
to
drain the
blood.
blood.
If you squeeze your
like a moil,
your
like the way a
hands and your
moil
feet,
sucks
it
blood
pulls-
out of
Ew.
out of a foreskin.
It either actually I read
With
this on Reddit,
with
so I
a
don't know
straw.
if it's like
Stop it.
if it actually works.
I
this
witnessed
way,
it.
But I squeeze on my feet and my hands, and then the blood it tends to get rid of the erection pretty quickly, like in 20-30 seconds. But I don't know if that's.
But what if before those 20-30 seconds can elapse is the
Makes-
moment when she says flip over?
I usually know when we're getting there because she tends to be a certain area or it's been a while or whatever, or I notice right away that it's happening, and so I just do what I can to prevent it. The problem is I can't tense up if she's working on that area, so I have to
Right.
do like my left both my hands and then like
She's
one foot or
probably
something.
pretty used to it though.
Yeah, I don't
Do
think she
you
would
get
care, but
erections?
she would be awkward.
Not
about
there.
it.
I mean, in life, yes, but not
good
at
for
not
you.
at not at
Not for
Paula's.
long, now that
Not at
he's
Paula's.
80.
If I
I'm
don't want-
functional.
The only time that I
Outside,
can
yeah.
guarantee an erection is when I don't want it.
I do think about it though. I'm like, God, this better not happen.
I never think
and
about
then I only think about it because I think, oh, that would be really embarrassing, and then I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah,
So I
that's
get it.
exactly what happens.
And,
yeah, it's like,
but
this
but
would
then
be
I'm
so
like,
weird.
this context is so unsensual for me.
Right.
It's like not relaxing.
But that's the thing,
I don't.
it's like-
Oh,
I don't get
guess
like.
if
I got one with
No,
a
no. I
guy,
mean,
I
it's
wouldn't even
relaxing.
care.
But that's what I mean. It's like I'm not gonna. I don't really get a relaxation erection.
Oh,
Right.
It's not like a thing
okay.
for me.
I'm
I'm so relaxed. It just all the blood rushes there.
Yeah, and I
fine
feel like
having it with a guy. I would not be like. It's weird. It's just weird with Paula because I don't think I could. I don't know. I don't know if it's because she's a woman and I don't know how to explain that exactly, except other than it's like, oh, that just happened. I guess when I got an erection, when my mom would change my diaper, apparently I would talk about it as a baby. This is common. It's not weird.
I'm sorry, I have to parse through.
And
a
I
few
was like,
things
Mom,
here.
just
You
wait a
said
second.
this, like,
You
Yeah.
got an
Never heard
erection
this?
while you were a baby, and you were having a
Apparently.
conversation with her about it. How
How
old were you in
She would open up
diapers?
the diaper and I would see the. I mean, like, how long do you normally be in diapers for? Like, for a couple years?
2
right?
months,
No, it's 2 years.
like a year and a. Oh no, like 2 years,
years.
probably.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's like.
God,
two-
that is a
yeah, well, I was
lifetime to
I
be
was
in a
talking
diaper.
before I was 1, so.
Well, you were having like, oh, well, look at this erection, mother.
Well, she would
I
open
was
up the
having phone
diaper and she'd
conversations.
react, and I'd be like, "Don't worry, Mom, it'll go down." That's what she said. I mean, that she said I said that, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I think parents like to fabricate these stories.
What if this is just like
I know,
weird,
that's a weird one.
weird,
Yeah.
weird fan fiction about her
I
own
don't think it's
child,
weird, though.
erotic,
My mom used to, like-
erotic child fan
When I would
fiction,
get cuts, my mom would like to suck on them, so.
Like no
like a
one
moil
had
with a
them.
straw.
Yeah, but without the straw.
With
She
the
would-
mouth.
She liked the taste of blood.
Ew.
She said she used to watch Surgery.
think
I like
we need to
surgeries.
go
I like
now.
surgeries, but I don't want to suck on people's blood. What's your landlord story?
You know what my landlord story is.
Is that what you're going to tell us, though? They don't.
But
So
Did you want me to talk about? Oh no, we didn't. So we didn't get. We didn't. The word Trump was never said. We said. I said. I can't believe it's almost been 2 years since I've been in to see you. It doesn't feel
wait,
like it.
You waited 2 years.
It was June of 2016 was my last text conversation with her. I don't know
crazy.
how that. It doesn't
It doesn't
feel
feel
right.
like
I
it was
think
that
it's more
long.
like a year, but that's what it
Now
seemed
I'm
like.
curious.
I checked my text when I texted her, and it also seemed wrong because my last text was last summer, and I was like, no.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. So I said, yeah, like 2 years, and she's like, yes. She says like so many things can happen in 2 years, and I was like, yeah, many unexpected things. And I said, yeah, especially in these last 2 years, there've been some real interesting things going on.
This was while she was rubbing you.
And yeah, and then we laughed. My face was up, not down, so it was not muffled.
Okay.
And she said, yeah, it's been She said it had been psychedelic.
Did she start you up?
She started me face down because I went specifically for
And then you flipped over.
and then I flipped over to get the rub finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
How long has it been for you?
August 2016.
What?
Mhm. You're coming up on your 2
She
year.
must be like,
Coming
oh,
up
I'm
to
not
you.
making any more money. No one's coming to see me.
I don't think so. I don't think we were her source of income entirely.
But also, Adam hasn't been there since way before
Yeah,
that.
but she
yeah,
knows
it's
that.
been the
She-
longest with me, but I got the chair. I named it after her.
It's not a good substitute.
I was
It's
going
a good substitute.
every
It's not a
2-3
perfect
months,
substitute.
like on a fairly regular
It gets the job
basis.
done for me.
That's
I was going
I
to her at
just
one
need
point once a month.
Yeah,
I need to go back. I think I'm going to try and make it maybe 2 months, every 2 months.
that's a good. Well, I
'Cause
was doing the half
She is
ones.
very good.
I forgot how much I needed those fingers. Like I needed them.
Does she still charge the same?
She
If
charges
she
whatever
did.
you want.
So
Yeah,
it was the usual awkward ending where because she talked to me for a good 10 minutes before I got on the table, and then we chatted for another 15 minutes after the thing, and then I was like, well, I guess I gotta go, so I should probably pay you, huh? And then we didn't talk. I just paid her $80 for that
She
for the
doesn't
hour.
even want to put the amount anymore. She handed me the phone.
Oh, she never put the amount.
Yeah, she never
That was
did.
it.
Well,
charged
before
like that
with me,
to
she
too.
would say, so how much do you want to pay? And I'd be
Oh.
like, oh, we talked about this thing, right? Or she was like, how much do we normally do? And I was like, I think we normally do 45. And she's like, is that still good for you? But this time she was just like, here's a phone. So you just put in the amount and sign.
Erica's massages were half the length, which is why she was paying less. It's not that Erica's so
that a
cheap,
but
dog
also-
or like a really awkward.
But it was
sexual
like a
encounter?
45-minute massage.
Yeah.
Not like an actual 30-minute
I
massage.
have gotten an hour and a
30
half from
She
her.
does 30s and 60s, but it's usually like she kind of adds in
Bleeds
50% more
over.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's got work to do and she doesn't.
Well,
she, doesn't wanna,
she apologized to me profusely that she was out of town when I needed her. When I texted her, she said, "So sorry I wasn't around
Wow.
and I couldn't help you." But
That's very sweet.
it was sweet. We have such a great rapport. I'm shocked that you don't have that.
Well, it's not a bad report.
I mean,
She
I'm-
just doesn't go in
It's-
depth with me.
You know, now that I think about it, I have had a couple of conversations with her while the massage was happening, but not because I wanted to. She just started talking to me. So I was like, all right, whatever.
No, I don't like that.
No, she
Yeah,
never
I-
started talking to me.
I don't mind having, like, I like talking to people, but in that moment, I would really rather just, like, not be.
Like, I'm here to
conscious.
relax. Let me do that.
I don't mind being eased into like I it's okay. Like we talked for about 20 minutes and then a good I don't think a peep was spoken for another 30 minutes.
Yeah, the only reason I don't like the ease into it is because when the conversation stops, I feel like I feel like, what, did I fuck it up?
Well, I picked the great time to just stop talking, which is when she got to my tight right hip. That's because that was the problem area. And then she, oh my God, I don't know what magic she did, but she poked something.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we have been talking about this for so long that it's gotten awkward. Erica, what's your story?
How'd you light your house on fire?
Oh, I didn't think that was the awkward part because I actually don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like that was my fault, but at the same time, I don't think I did anything.
Yeah, what did
to
you?
cause it.
What resin did you put?
Well, let's start on the roof and we'll get down to that.
Okay.
I got video of all of it.
Well, do you want to start then? We can
No,
just take
I'm
turns.
just gonna throw the video on top of the discussion. We can actually demonstrate what happened because.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
you filmed the landlord?
Oh no, I didn't film the landlord. I filmed like the party stuff that you asked me to, and I
Right.
also filmed the smoke because it looked cool.
Oh, okay.
It didn't feel cool.
Smelled
No.
great. It was like so good in my.
But in the
my
hallway, I
nose
was
and
like,
my
"This looks so
lungs.
pretty." I guess that's the upside.
I mean, when we get to a certain part, I have commentary, but until then, continue.
Okay, well, so we were on our roof. I was having my birthday party yesterday, and as many people know, I do like
Cinco de Erica.
I do some like elaborate things for my birthday sometimes, and so I wanted to have a piñata. So we spent a long time trying to figure out, well, what's the best way to do the piñata. We don't want to do it in the apartment because people could swing at things and hit things, and like normally people do it in a park, but we're like, no, it needs to be like one venue. So like, let's just do it on the roof. There's a bunch of room. Everyone can hang out there. We can have cornhole, and then we'll just eat on the roof. And like when it gets dark, we'll go downstairs.
You got dual cornhole.
Well, you can't have just one.
Yeah,
With cortisol involved,
you
for
you could, but
But I've never seen a cornhole individual.
yeah, you would just have to like take turns or something.
Anyways, so we're hanging out, whatever. It's like 7:15, by the way, on a Saturday night.
Mhm.
And this woman who is like one of the managers of the building, I think she's the weekend manager, comes up. And she's like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so," even though she's now introduced herself to me 4 times. And
I'm
she's
here to
like,
exert my power.
did you know you can't have glass bottles on the roof? And I was like, oh, I didn't, because the reason I didn't know this was because I've come up to the roof many times and seen glass bottles lying around or a trash full of glass bottles.
Maybe they changed it.
And so she's like, yeah, you can't have
But
them
it's
up here.
understandable.
You can't have them in any common areas. So I was like, oh, I totally knew that about the pool because we always put drinks in cups. But I didn't know that about the roof. Sorry. And she's like, also, it's really loud because the roof goes directly into the courtyard. So like my building's built like around 2 different courtyards. And everyone can hear you guys. And I think this only happened once we started hitting the piñata because it was echoing and people were kind of screaming, whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, we'll try to keep it down. But like, well, you definitely won't be up here past 10 because that's the rule. If you live in an apartment building, it might be 11 on the weekend, but whatever. And so I was like, we won't be making any noise past 10. And she was like, okay, cool. Yeah, if you could just try to tell people to be like less loud. And I was like, okay. And so she leaves and like, don't take it quite that seriously because I'm like, all right, well, it's still early. And like, she just said, keep it down. So I just kind of like, when people are being loud, start being like, hey, let's not be so loud. And then I tell everyone to use the cans, whatever. And so we're like about to hit like the biggest piñata, and my actual landlord, like the one I signed the lease with, comes up and he's like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we're hanging out at Cinco de Mayo, and like everyone's kind of drunk, so everyone's not really taking him seriously. And he's like, you can't be up
Not
here.
all of us were drunk.
No, but like
I wasn't.
Yeah, I think
people
you're
were-
the only one here who may have had a drink.
people were kind of like, oh, we're hanging out.
In
at Cinco de
fact,
Mayo.
I
Like,
recall someone
wasn't
as he
that
walked
loud.
up said, "There's the girl of the hour" or something like that. There's the birthday girl to him, and I thought he was just I thought he was one of your coworkers.
oh, like a guest of the party.
Yeah, I think it was. I won't tell you. It wasn't me.
Okay.
In fact, as soon as I saw that he was serious, I ran away.
Well,
I didn't
he
want
would
to
have
be near
found
it.
me. He knows that I'm the one who like lives downstairs. Like, I think he knows who the tenants are.
Well, so what happened?
Well, so he was
I actually
like,
didn't hear this.
you can't have parties up here, and I was like,
What's it for?
oh, what?
What's it for then?
The roof?
Yeah.
It's a roof of a building.
Well, yeah,
It's-
no, but
It's to prevent
functional.
rain.
There's the chairs up there.
But did
There's
they
like
not
a bunch
advertise it when you moved in as like a place to hang out? Because I remember you telling
yeah,
me
but
that was
they
a
didn't
feature.
say, hey, it's a party place, but they're like, we have a rooftop. A lot of buildings have rooftops and they don't let people go up there. Like, they just lock the door.
Yeah, you don't advertise that if it's
Or-
for, like, just to sit up there and read.
Or they're like, no one on the rooftop, or like whatever,
Yeah.
like
or you make it
can't
very
hang out
clear
there.
what it's for.
So, but there's like tables, there's chairs, people are up there all the time. And he's like, yeah, you can't have parties up here. Like, you can't be doing this. And I was like, that's completely different than what Elaine said. She just said we can't have glass up here. And he's like, no, you can't have anything up here. You can't be drinking up here, blah, blah, blah. It's in your lease. Did you even read it? You can't have more than 2 people in a common area.
About it?
Wait, you didn't hear any of this?
Well, I heard about the 2 people
Oh,
thing,
no, he was like super mad.
But that's, I mean, like, there are people up there all the time.
I mean, we have had 2 parties up there, so obviously he doesn't know that people have parties up there, which is crazy.
The pinata got a lot of attention.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I think it was like
maybe it didn't.
The sound of that, the echoing, whatever. But like,
but otherwise it was not loud. It really wasn't loud.
No, it was not loud.
And I even asked Elaine, like, what's loud? Is it the music? Because we can turn it down. And she's like, yeah, just turn it down a little bit. Mostly just like if people are shouting, it reverberates, whatever.
We were shouting with the
exactly.
pinata.
Well, because that's when people started coming up, was after we were doing that. But I've been in my apartment at midnight and heard people yelling like in their apartments, and it was louder than that, so whatever. And so he's like, yeah, you can't have more than 2 people in a common area. And I'm like, this roof fits like 100 people, so that's ridiculous. And also, who only has 2 friends? And so he's like,
I could probably think of a few people.
well, those people just usually don't have people over.
But I think the argument is more like you would hang out with a couple of friends that you have over, not you only have 2 friends to hang out with.
Well, yeah, but like later on, Jacob was like, wait, so like, what if we had Steve and Johanna over? Would they not be able to bring their baby? Mm-hmm. Because that would be 3 people.
I would say that the baby generally wouldn't count as the 3rd person.
But babies are loud.
Well, I have never heard their baby be loud.
No, he's very, very polite baby.
But yeah, I mean, like I don't think that it's like a baby doesn't necessarily count as a passenger or a person when you're buying a seat to something. So I would say that maybe that's the case. But what if you had a polyamorous couple over?
Yeah. Anyways,
well,
so then we were like, all right, well, I guess we're just going to pack everything up and go downstairs because there's no rule about having people inside your apartment. And then, well, I don't really know how to comment on the fire thing because I'm not really sure what happened.
I don't know what happened either. And it wasn't a fire.
No, it was smoke.
A lot of smoke.
Because, okay, so I made chilaquiles and Eric and I talked about I would prep them and then bring them over and like finish the baking part of it or whatever at her apartment. Otherwise, they'd just be sitting there. Cold. Anyway, so we all go downstairs. I put the stuff inside the oven, and I saw that there were like cast iron skillets or whatever in the oven, and I asked Erica like, "Is that okay?" I don't know if she was like, "Yeah, that should be fine." So I was like, "Okay, cool." Like nothing was happening at that point. But then when I went to go check on the chilaquiles, I opened the door and smoke starts coming out, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And I kind of just like closed it again, and I was like, yeah, I don't know why there's smoke coming out. And Jacob was in the kitchen because he was prepping the meat and stuff. And he just seemed kind of annoyed the entire time. But I was like, did I do something wrong? But yeah, from there, I don't know how it escalated or like what happened.
I don't know because
nothing that I was baking like was spilling out or anything.
Well, and it wasn't burned or anything.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like the cast irons were smoking, so I think we took those out. Mm-hmm. But then the smoke seemed to just keep getting worse. So that was very confusing. So yeah, the apartment got really smoky because it's not very large and there were a shit ton of people in it because we were supposed to be hanging out on the roof. And the idea would be like, oh, as people leave, then we'll go downstairs. So then everyone like overflowed into the hallway and the balcony and the bedroom. And then, like, 20 minutes later, Elaine comes by again. Elaine was the first manager.
She wouldn't come into your apartment, though. She said, is Erica here? And I said, yes.
Where else would I be? They kicked me off the roof.
And I said, she's right over there. Thinking, oh, okay, she'll go in and talk to you. She's like, can you go get her and have her come out and talk to me?
Is there a rule against going into people's apartments?
She has to have your permission like a vampire.
Oh.
Seriously, they're not allowed.
Well, then I'll never give her my
I will say this.
Unless it's an emergency.
I think propping the door open with a case of Modelo may have attracted
well, that wasn't my idea.
A managerial sort of position.
Yeah, because we ran out of beer for about 30 minutes, and had I realized that that's where the Modelo was, I would have just put it in the cooler.
I think that may have drawn more attention than the open door. Because it's like, oh, they are doing beer. They're on these kids.
We're fucking 30-year-olds.
These 45-year-olds are on beer.
Yeah. So then she's like, hey, I just want to let you know if you have like this many people in your apartment, we just want to try to like not open the doors because like the sound and whatever. But I'm not telling you can't have a party. You can definitely have a party.
What is going on?
And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, you come up and you're like, hey, no glass, just keep it down. And then it's like, no party. And then she comes by and she's like, oh, you can totally do this. And I'm like, But like, do you guys talk to each other?
Maybe there's like a Game of Thrones-esque, like jockeying for power, like
really
who the
it was
prime-
like she
weird.
felt bad for telling me to do these things.
Yeah, she seems like a normal human being.
And then Carl was like the opposite. He was like, no mayhem, no mayhem.
Wow.
Anyways, eventually
he
the smoke
used those
went
words,
away.
no
but that's
mayhem?
basically what the subtext was.
Okay.
The smoke
does
subsided and nothing burned.
Does the cat lie on this? Because I think
No.
you just tried to murder me.
No, that one's
you
kept in a
feeling
drawer
like
away
a
from
cat?
the cat.
I feel like I have pussy eyes. Like
No,
they're
the cat does
getting
not touch that
crusty and
blanket.
thick.
That blanket was cleaned and put in a drawer, and it has not been used since.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for answering that question.
I can say that definitively. I keep that
But
one
the
away
cat
from
does
the pets
sleep in the drawer.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't fit. He's too fat.
Could be my fault. I only took my Claritin like 10 minutes before I came over, and
just
it may
kidding,
not
though.
have reached peak
I
saturation.
mean, the cat sleeps in here at night a lot.
When he's
that
on
one.
vacation.
when he doesn't sleep here. When he's visiting
Yeah.
for like a day
Yeah.
out of all 1 year,
I thought
days.
I thought that was
Days.
implied.
5 days. So sorry to have cut you off
That's
with
okay.
that, but
That
it,
was kind of
it
the whole
felt
thing.
over.
What?
The story
It
felt
was.
over.
Yeah.
That's
I think
when
it
the party
is.
ended.
I think we've talked
Yeah.
enough about our issues for this week. Should we get to the sugar daddy?
I don't know. Do we even have time?
Yes, we have time. It's been a half an hour.
Oh.
The,
Do you have to be somewhere?
I do.
he's
Always.
sassy today. Just
Today.
telling me he wasn't going to be on the show.
Really?
Yeah. That was yesterday, though. That was not today.
No.
Yeah.
Sassy
So
every
it,
day.
it bled over.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
having a thing this weekend, I guess. With
Yeah.
Richard
Well, because
doesn't want to be here. He's over.
He was
all
talking
of
about
you.
how Erica only sees me as a guest of the podcast.
Well,
And
you asserted yourself today.
and you see me as a co-host and
Well, you're listed as a co-host.
and I said, well, fine, like I'll wear that guest title,
Just not show up.
and just not obligate myself or be obligated to like show up to
this
every
isn't your
episode.
job.
But I don't think
Where
anyone
you like
ever
that
said you were
situation.
obligated to show up.
And
every
I'll
week.
just use that freedom to be like, I don't want to do it.
I mean, I'm
not
listed
obligated, I
as a
just
regular
want him
host.
here.
I'm never here.
Yeah, but we consider you a co-host at large. It's just not.
Yeah,
not
that's
an
right.
option.
The co-host at large, like an Andre Leon Talley.
Sure.
A what?
he's oh my god, Fashion World, hello.
Hello, thank you, Richard. Thank you. He was the Vogue editor at large for a while.
Oh.
Does he come on Drag Race at some point?
No.
Okay,
No.
Then I'll never learn. About
Old,
it.
old seasons
That's
of
like
America's Next
That's
Top
the
Model.
only way I'll learn.
I wouldn't
any
be
of the
shocked
stuff.
if he pops up on Drag Race at some point,
Eventually.
but
Is he still alive?
he might be dead. I don't know. I think he is,
Everyone's
but
dead now. Anyway, not drag queens, sugar daddies. So we had an anonymous question come in about sugar daddies a couple weeks ago, and we weren't able to read the Craigslist post because it got flagged and taken down. As we now know from the person who wrote in with this, it is they may have someone was like trying to catfish them or something, I believe was the story, and they called them out on it and think the post might have gotten flagged because of that. I just assumed it was the new regulations where Craigslist is and all these other sites are because of what is it, SESTA, or I can never remember the acronyms, but
I don't know.
if you go to the Mistress Harley episode, which I'm pretty sure is 207, it is we have links to that stuff. It's bad. It's like to stop sex trafficking, but it actually even like if you look at what it has done so far and what it I think pretty clearly does because of how it's written, it makes it worse for sex workers and causes more harm to people.
It just makes them work harder. They got to work harder now.
Well,
I'm
they
joking.
can't. They lose all the safety that they had on the internet.
There's no safety in sex work.
Well, but they had like ways of like checking out who they were meeting
Right.
up with, and now all these pimps are apparently coming out of the woodwork and trying to take advantage of the situation. So it's
The
not
pimps strike
it's not
back.
good. Yeah, you would think like if they stopped being pimps for a while, they would just they would have found something else to do.
No,
but they've just
no.
been sitting around waiting to be pimps again.
Once you get the pimp bug.
It's just weird. It's like, okay, well, I guess, I was doing this thing that was not really ethical, but, and that I'm referring specifically to the pimp part of the job, and taking advantage of women and whatever, and just mooching off of their work, which, I guess, like, if you had like I think like instead of a pimp, if you had like a manager who actually gave a shit.
A manager
or a woman manager. I don't care.
Heidi Fleiss was a high class pimp, essentially a madam. It's a madam when it's a lady pimp is a madam.
Like if it's
classier.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the situation with many pimps in which it is taking advantage of the women that they, I guess, control or attempt to control.
Or Heidi Fleiss. Now, did I say Leona whatever?
No,
So-
you said Heidi Fleiss.
I did.
A lot of sites have been
confused in my head. Sorry.
like deleting accounts, removing people's postings and stuff if it has anything remotely to do with sex work. And so I thought maybe that's why it got flagged. The person who wrote in thinks that it was actually they just pissed someone off on Craigslist, which is it's so stupid because this guy's doing a bad thing and then he gets called out on it. And I've noticed this with scammers in other situations where they just they get mad that you called them out on their scam, and it's like, you're doing something wrong. I'm not I could actually punish you, but they get mad. I've had one tell me stop wasting my time. And I'm like, you're trying to rob me. Like, what the fuck? I just don't understand how these people get that into their head.
Oh yeah, Craigslist is for anything is pretty much just broken.
Yeah, it really is. But so we can actually share the post now. We have the post.
Oh, thank God.
And we can discuss it for real. So
I didn't know where this was going.
the name of the post is Group of Gay University Boys Looking for a TO Sugar Daddy to Host. What does TO mean? I forgot.
Toronto.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Didn't you read this last week?
Yes, and he said
No,
the
2
same
weeks
thing.
ago, and we didn't have the text, and I was explaining why we're doing it.
Oh, this sounds extremely familiar.
Because it was 2 weeks ago. I just said that. We talked about it 2 weeks ago, but we didn't have the post.
No, I know. I thought you
but
read the post.
Yeah, I remember you reading the post as well.
Oh, no, I did. I definitely did not read the post.
Okay, well,
Let's do it. Let's read it now.
I
Read it now.
read the post to you in bed, I think.
no.
Ooh.
I think you read it to both of us
yeah,
here.
read
You probably
it,
just
and then
didn't
we'll
record it.
just talk about it.
Let's read it and then talk about it maybe again or maybe not again.
Oh, yeah,
Sure.
maybe I did read it here.
Yeah, but I did.
Remember we were talking about how many people were in the apartment, and you're like, oh, it is 20 people. That seems like
Yeah.
a lot.
A group of up to 20 gay men attending a nearby university will be in Toronto for a fun gay night on a weekend in May 2018. Last time we did this, we stayed at Airbnbs and barely got any dick. So we thought it would be fun this time to see if there's a sugar daddy or any queer man/men really with a place in downtown Toronto who would like to host us for the night. Imagine 20 something year old gay men sleeping in your condo after a night out on the town. You can bet that some of us will wear jockstraps. Of course, in return for your hospitality, you would be more than welcome to join us in whatever activities we embark upon during our visit. Your dinner would also be on us unless you really want to sugarcoat and pick up the tab. Not at all required, but up to you. Either way, you're invited. Email us if you are interested, and we will discuss the date and any other details. Please keep in mind that while some of us may be interested in your dick, some of us will not be. Respect every person's right to consent / opt out if they want, and in turn, we will respect your property and regardless have an amazing
God,
night together.
what an enticement.
Yeah, we had this whole conversation
Yeah.
about how it was like, oh, good, it has to be consensual, and that's very polite.
Yeah, no, I they
So this
don't
is like
know.
the third time we're discussing this.
Are you sure we didn't talk about it on the show though?
No, we didn't because we didn't have time. I saved it for this week
Okay.
because we would be so long with the interview we had.
I don't know. I think this is a little presumptuous. Did they include photos of themselves? Because what if they're really
They're-
ugly early 20s?
They're not.
No sugar daddy will want. How do you know?
Because I know who it is, and I know I've seen pictures of the people.
Well, can I see photos and can I judge?
later? I've not. Well, I don't have them up here, but
What kind of a host are you?
because we don't have consent to show those.
I'm not saying, but do my eyes have consent?
Okay,
No.
but then you'd have to get up, come over to the monitor. It's not
I'm just
realistic
saying
to do it
all
right
this
now.
presumption, and then to be like, and we may not even want
Okay,
to
if you have-
sit on it.
Okay, if you have 20 something gay college kids, there're going to be a couple in there at least that are going to be attracted.
Sure. I just why and why did they not get dick at the Airbnb? Like, what was the issue? Dealing with
Because there aren't people there. I mean, unless they're looking for their own dicks, which I'm assuming that they don't need to do that on vacation.
because they wanted more people to come.
They want a sugar daddy.
They just didn't want to. They wanted
Figure.
somewhere to stay that they didn't have to pay for, but also like some of them are probably into the
Concepts.
older guy or I mean I don't know.
So they want to have an orgy, but they don't want to pay for it. This just sums up 20 somethings.
But no, but like I said this 2 weeks ago, but I got
I'm glad that I was here for that.
I got a Well, I'm mentioning it, so apologizing to the people who have to hear it twice. Not you. It's not about you.
It never is.
I don't know about that.
I don't try. Oh my God. Okay, go on, please.
It's frequently about you.
Oh well.
I'm not
sorry to
criticizing
put you out,
but that's
Adam.
the
I'll
truth.
leave. I'll go.
You're not putting me out.
Okay.
But you know that.
And no sugar daddy is gonna put out for these assholes. I can
got-
tell you.
When I was in New York for a brief period, I got like a message on a gay dating site for a sugar daddy who wanted to like take me to a museum and pay me $2,000 a week on retainer to like hang out with him.
Did you do it?
No, because I'm pretty sure it was bullshit, and it was like someone who wanted to murder me or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Because I had a friend who got it too, and they didn't do it either, but they felt. I mean, it's possible that it was legit. No one ever actually did it, but it like other people had gotten this message before and felt like, no, I don't trust this. And I mean, this was years over a decade ago, so it was like almost 16 years ago actually. And so that was back when it was scarier to meet people off the internet,
Right.
especially for me being in New York for like living there for the first time, even if it was only for like 5 months. And it was, and so I didn't do that, but.
Sorry.
What the? You're not looking at your phone, and I didn't say anything funny. What the hell is going on?
I just saw the pickle.
The pickle?
Okay, let's talk about the pickle because I would love. Okay, can you get the pickle? Pick the pickle up and show it to the camera, please. Over in the center, so it's in front of my face. Here, give it. Okay, well, no one's gonna be able to see that.
Oh my god.
It's really small.
But the closer you get it, the harder it's gonna be able to see. Darren actually trying to get the camera now.
Well, now you feel something.
All right, well, I'll wait. Yeah.
Oh
Well, no
my
one can
God.
see what the shirt says.
Oh.
My
It
shirt
landed
says
right
"I
on
feel nothing." It's from a movie.
I'm sorry that I derailed.
Okay, so there's
very
been this
intriguing
weird little
discussion.
pickle on the show. I mean, on the table. Now it's on the show. Now you can see it on the camera.
It has been on the show.
It has
I've
a
played
face
with it
like, "Oh
before.
my God, what did you just put in my butt?" Or "This is horrifying," or something. It's not a happy pickle. It's been on the table. We're doing Supercharged, and Tommy asked me, "Where did this pickle come from?" I thought it was Pickle Rick for a second, and I'm like, "No," but
Pickle Rick.
it's Rick and Morty.
Oh.
But but it's definitely not. And I asked Erica if she brought the pickle in, and she was like, "I've seen it and played with it, but I don't know where it came from." And Richard didn't know where it came from, and I'm assuming Darren, you have no idea where this.
I don't even know what we're
We
talking
don't know how
Listeners,
this
if
pickle
you
got
know
here.
where the pickle came from, maybe you saw one of our guests bring it in, or like one of our guests was holding it one episode. We're way too lazy to
people
check
would
on
have
that
to
kind of
watch the
shit.
video to
Maybe
know.
that was
Yeah,
one of,
but they might want to.
maybe one of the
Yeah.
various like mistresses
You might-
or
Oh
sex
my God.
sex educator people that you have on had it as an anal plug, and we've all just touched their anal pickle.
Well, the
I
problem is
hope
we don't
no
know
one
how
thinks
long
it's
it's
that
been
small.
here. Erica might have the best guess at how long it's been here. 'Cause I think
When
know
you
the
asked
longest.
me, was it after the last show or the other show?
I think it was last week I asked you.
So that was at least 2 weeks after I first gained knowledge of the pickle.
Okay, so that I don't think Jeffrey left it here.
Well, the reason I thought it was so funny is because Adam asked if I put it in the room, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And he was
Last
like, "The
person
pickle,
left to ask.
it's a pickle, it's in the room." And I
And
was
then
like,
you
"I
saw the pickle.
have no idea what you're talking. I've never seen this." He was like, "But Erica's seen it as well," and I was like, "I have no idea." And so, like, I'm just like kind of like looking around because I've heard this story a million times, and so like I just like look at the pens that I see in a little crevice in
In a
between
hand.
fingers, like it's just like sitting there like yelling at me, and I was like, "What is happening?"
And
I
there's the
realized
pickle.
That's the pickle he was talking
Well,
about.
this sounds like a pickle these boys have. What are they gonna do? Is there a question in this?
Yeah, well, no, we kind of answered it before, but I
I'll
wanted
take the
to.
pickle back, by
I
the
want-
way.
I don't know where it went.
Put
It's
it back
really
where
small.
it went.
You're gonna take like
Did I just hand it to somebody?
No.
Mistress Pomona's
I
pickle.
think I did, 'cause it's not
in-
here
Mistress
anymore.
Pomona.
That
Palomino.
That's
Mistress
Erica.
Palomino.
Pickle's
I like
gone.
that
That's
better.
Erica's Fat
Anyway,
Life handle.
we're gonna move
Mistress
on now.
Pomona. Look her up.
Sometimes there are people apparently that are interested in sugar babies or whatever, that are they're not necessarily going to get laid. But also when you do the Craigslist posts, you kind of have to, even if someone definitely intends to fuck, you can't make it an exchange. Otherwise, it will definitely get taken.
So the question was, why was this taken off of Craigslist?
No, the question was like,
How do I get this to work?
Yeah, and
I think it's the
they've already made
tone. I
their
think it's a
plans.
tonal issue.
I thought it was funny. I mean, I think it was supposed to be tongue in cheek, and
I don't know. It just came across as entitled, like every
really.
new 20-year-old. Yes.
I mean, I think it came across as like, we know we're young and sexy, and you're older, and now you can have 20 of us.
Oh,
sort of.
Thank God, 20 assholes who probably
I
like
mean,
are
it
into.
wouldn't entice me.
I'm just
but
saying.
But I mean, like, you've met gay men.
The amount of Bodak Yellow in that house that's going to be playing is going to be out of control.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds like
Exactly.
Okay, so we have nothing to solve there, so it doesn't matter anyway. But they worked it out with some Airbnb situations.
Oh, so they didn't get a
Everybody's
sugar
happy.
daddy?
No, because I already said the post got flagged.
Why do they need a sugar daddy? One person there when there are going to be 20 people. Like, they're like, we just have to have an old man
I thought
here.
it would be fun.
Okay.
I feel like we've tried to answer this question.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on. I feel like no one's getting it.
No.
Okay, so Erica, you want to start us off with the?
Not awkward, but I got a question. If you have time to discuss it, that'd be cool or whatever. If you're in a relationship with someone and y'all break up, then y'all get back together, but then y'all were broken up. But when y'all were broken up, y'all said you was over each other. Do y'all think y'all was really over each other if y'all got back together? Thanks, guys.
I don't understand
Obviously not.
that question.
They broke up. They said they were over each other. They got back together. And now I was like, wait, so were we over each other when we were broken up?
No.
Obviously, you fucking got back together. You answered your
Well,
own
I guess it
question.
really depends on how much time there was in between.
I know I'm not supposed to do this, but
Uh-oh.
the grammar of this, the y'all, why is there so much y'all?
The subject was y'all lol. I'm saying lol instead of lol because I'm assuming that was the point. But so I think they were having some fun with it.
Well, anyway, I don't know.
I guess everybody has their own kind of
the
fun.
answer would be no.
Yeah, I'm
Sugar
assuming
daddy.
no.
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward.
No.
I mean, they obviously couldn't have been over each other, right? I mean, like,
I think
there's
you
no
could get
other
over someone and then
I'm over this question.
get
quite
under
frankly,
them
but-
again.
When
Yeah,
were
I mean,
you
when we
under
were
me?
we were broken up for a period, as I think probably anyone who's been listening to the show long enough knows. That
But
Rich
I
and
wasn't
had a little break.
over it.
Yeah, we never claimed to be over
But
it.
I think that's why
And
I
I
said
didn't
how much
even.
time was in between the breakup
Yeah.
and the getting back
I think
together. Because if you guys were broken up for like 2 or 3 years, that's a big amount of time where you could just get over it and then you guys get back
yeah,
in
then
each
maybe
other's
something-
lives and you're like, oh, we're getting to know each
if
other
we're
again.
talking about like a Reb Tevye and a Golda and a
I
Shtetl,
don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's-
Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh.
Let's say they've been together for 45 years. I cooked for you, that whole thing, and then they broke up, and maybe they were apart for another 20
They
years.
just needed a new spark.
And then they like moved to a new Shtetl and they laid eyes and like, oh, that's Golda. I remember her. Oh, I was over you for a good 20 years, but now I've fallen in love with the new you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's
And
been like a
cooking and
week,
cleaning, too.
And the cooking, and I
Not
want
giving up.
more cooking and cleaning.
this sounds like they were broken up for like a week or two.
I feel like
Yeah,
there
it doesn't
wasn't
sound
enough
like it was long.
information to really hook into this one, so we're done with you guys.
But hey, if you wanna like respond, and I'm kind of curious why you asked the question.
They just
Just
wanted
curiosity.
their 15 minutes of no fame.
I feel like I feel like
I'm really
I feel
on a
like these
warpath
people,
today.
I feel like the people that are being asked about are insisting that they were over it and won't accept that they weren't over it.
But why does that matter? You guys
Who
are back
gives a
together.
shit? They're-
And well, I think this person wants a podcast to tell those people you were not over it clearly.
All right, well, this podcast tells you clearly weren't over it.
So if that's what
See
you're
ya.
after, Awkward Demon, seal of approval, they weren't over it. Unless, of
And
course,
neither
it was
were
like
you,
2 or
so-
3 years, in which case we'll reassess. But if it was, 6 months or less, I would say for sure.
Unless
Not over
you
it.
have more information, but I don't even think you should write back in. Unless it's of
Don't
a
tell people to do that. We need
unless
people
it's
to write
of
in.
a completely different question. This one was not good.
Well, you didn't plead,
And neither was me slapping the table with my hand.
Hit the table.
I've broken I've broken almost every rule that was set forth for me
As
like
you do.
5 years ago because it's about me all the time,
It
as
is
I've
about you.
learned.
It's about
As
you.
you've learned?
It's always about
In your
Darren.
36 years of existence?
Oh, thank God bless you for giving me for making me a year younger than I am.
You're 37.
I know, right?
You are?
I can't even fathom that. so.
I can't fathom it either,
Oh,
but
God. Yeah, that's the age I don't want to get to. But I'm going to start thinking about 40.
Yeah, that's bad.
whatever.
That like 40 is when I'm going to start to feel like that's when I'm going to care about being old.
That's what you think.
Well, I don't know. Maybe like if I age as slowly as I have been,
I've been caring
won't be
since
so
I turned
bad, but
21, so there you go.
Oh yeah, okay, I get it now.
What's the next?
Actually, since I turned 20.
Okay, our final question for the day, I think, is also from Anonymous and in the same vein as the last one, which is interesting that these both came in this week.
So not Samoan questions.
Well, I'm just I'm just like
Nothing
I'm
about
just-
Tonga.
They sound very similar in terms of what they're asking. So I don't know. Maybe who knows? I guess it's not that weird of a.
I can't wait to get to it. Like, can't wait to dive in.
Okay, so this one comes from a 18-year-old lesbian. She asks, "I am an 18-year-old. Oh no, sorry, bisexual. My bad. I thought it said lesbian on there.
They do look at the same.
Very similar letters.
No, it literally it does say bisexual, but there's an icon, and I got confused.
Is the icon a woman licking a vagina?
No, it's a.
I hope so.
No, there's a gay symbol, but I think there's still some bugs in the new system.
That's a gay symbol? It looks like a uterus.
No, it's a heart, but it's supposed to.
That just
That's
looks
a
like a
heart.
location.
There's a
map to
color
me.
thing. There's a color coding system that you guys don't know what it is yet.
Oh, I thought you meant the one next to female cis. That definitely looks like fallopian
A
tubes.
female
no, that-
cyst?
Yeah, that looks like fallopian.
Oh, that's
tubes.
actually the transgender symbol. So I don't know why that's up. Anyway, they're not programmed correctly at the moment, so that's why I was a little confused. I think I probably saw that, and I don't know what happened. Anyway, she's an 18-year-old bisexual female. Not a long question, so I'm gonna get through it. I'm supposed to hang out with my ex-girlfriend soon, but just as friends. What can I do to win her back and get her to date me again? Thanks, guys. You can start by giving us some more information.
I mean, that's like, why did you
Because
break
I
up?
don't. Yeah. Like,
What was the issue? Because maybe she had an issue with you and was like, maybe you fixed it. But
This one was sent through Gorilla Mail, so I'm usually when I reply to that, no one ever gets it. So I'm assuming this is somebody who's still working their way through the old episodes and aren't aware that you can send anonymously through our system on awkward.email. But if you don't know that, now you do.
I know one thing, is that you're 18, bisexual, not lesbian woman, and I think you should just forget about her and move on to whatever man or woman is out there because you're 18 and she's not worth it. I feel, personally.
I don't know. I just feel like you were kind of alluding to this before that answer. Why did you guys break up? Like,
Yeah.
what was the reason for that? Is that resolved?
How long ago was
Are you over each other?
Under each other.
Because you have to be over each other before you get back together, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no information that we can give you
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
to get this girl back.
Well, it sounds
Lick
like
her
she-
pussy again? I don't know.
Yeah, but do it good this
Only
time. You know, like
consensually.
maybe give her a little lick on the asshole too,
yeah,
like because
yeah. I
Like
don't-
from the asshole
It's-
to the
but it's
vagina.
Never. That's bad.
It's
no,
not-
go
for
the
you.
other
sounds
direction.
like the person
even
asking.
licking?
Hold on, let's
Do you know how
do
butts
something
work?
here.
Yeah.
There,
They open, they close, and that's about that.
I think he knows how butts work.
Well, so you know that you could get bacteria on your tongue the same way you could get on your finger.
Yeah, but it absorbs right into your bloodstream first.
I think that she must have done something to cause the breakup because she's saying, "What can I do to win her back?" That's something that generally you would say if you made a mistake.
Well, unless she was the asshole and she was like, I don't want to be with you anymore.
It also
I think
depends.
you changed your mind.
It depends what she did, because did she murder her father? Did she bite her labia by
Right.
mistake? Like what?
There's so
Were
many
you just not attentive enough?
many different
Were you
reasons
too
for a breakup.
attentive? Like
Aaron, I feel like you think the only thing you do in a lesbian relationship is lick each other's pussies.
No, you can bump pussies too.
You can scissor.
scissors.
Lefty head ass.
I mean, first of all, at 18, there's a pretty low chance that you're gonna end up together. So I wouldn't try too hard to keep yourself hung up on somebody. In general, it's better to like just kind of move on. You tend to be when you don't want somebody, they tend to want you more. You might be experiencing that a little bit yourself at the moment. But you can also have like hang out with her as friends. Show her that you can do that for one. That because I feel like that's probably going to be important here. And it's not a bad thing to demonstrate anyway, but like after things have settled a little bit, but not too long, otherwise it's gonna feel like you were lying to her for a while just to bring this up. So maybe like hang out once or twice, and then say like, listen, I still have feelings for you. I'm fine with being friends if you don't want to, get back together or whatever. But I wanted to be honest and say like, that's there, and I will do what I need to do to move on if you don't want to be together anymore. But if you do, or decide that you do at some point in the near future, then tell me.
You're telling her to recite essentially War and Peace in its entirety as an audiobook. This is the most convoluted
there's no
response.
way that was as long as War and Peace.
Okay, yes, you're correct. There is no way, but it was
abridged
verging.
No, I was done. But
Were you?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
The only other thing I was going to say is essentially just be honest about how you feel and do it in a polite and respectful way that allows her to have agency in the decision, because ultimately if you caused a problem, then you don't want to be pushing that on her. And I would say also it would probably help to demonstrate why you're not going to cause that problem. Not say why necessarily, not that you can't say it, but I mean, like, you have to show that you...
Listen, they're 18, they want to fight, they want to fuck, they don't want to talk. It's only effing, right? Fighting and fucking. I have another sort of angle on this that I think is great.
Okay.
Focus on your career. Make sure at 18, because
So
honestly,
that power lesbian
if she's not an entrepreneur, all 18-year-olds according to the TV and social media are entrepreneurs. If you don't have a business, if you don't have some means of being a millionaire by the time you're 23, then you're not going to get pussy again.
Yeah,
That's
it's
just
impressive to do it by
Right.
30, but now, you
you got to do
graduate
it.
college. You got 1 year.
Yeah, if
you
you're
have
not
to
a
pay off the
YouTube
loans,
star,
go into more debt,
18
you win.
is too late, quite frankly.
Oh. Yeah.
So refocus on your career. The fuck will come.
She's past her prime already.
The
Yeah.
cum will...
The cum will fuck.
The
cum will out.
come
The
after
cum
the
will
fuck.
out. Yeah. So business, fighting, and fucking. That's where you should add a B into your Fs, babe.
Yeah, BFF.
BFF.
Business, fighting.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like that
Change
is
the name of this
the new tour
Episode
we're gonna
title.
go on across the country with side microphones full of
BFF
packed
tour.
Britney Spears style?
Britney Spears. It'll be like a Tony Robbins kind of inspirational thing.
Okay.
Business, fighting, and fucking.
But
your
we have to have
guide.
choreography too.
I'm happy to do a choreographed
Okay.
number, as you all know that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, aloha, woman.
Yeah.
I would say... I forgot what I was going to say, so
Oh.
it doesn't matter.
I mean, I think we probably covered.
Well,
it
let's
as
get
much
a
as we
real
can,
lesbian's
really.
perspective on this.
One
Well-
who's never
well,
liked
it's
a
also-
pussy.
It's a bisexual and a
Never say never.
bisexual or lesbian.
Well, but thus far.
But so Erica might be too extreme for the situation.
Right. Because I've never dated a man.
You might be too politically extreme. The kind of lesbian that doesn't actually sleep with women and has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's more of a political lesbian.
Yeah.
This is your fault too. It's all because that one guy at someone else's party just assumed you were a lesbian.
No,
once.
that was your fault. Because you said it first.
No.
You started spreading rumors.
I said no such thing.
No,
he
he
came
came
up
up with that one
right
on
up to you, talked to you, and just assumed you were a
I know,
lesbian.
but when
It
I
doesn't
showed
matter
up-
that he had the same first name as
When
me.
I showed
You
up,
can't-
you were like, "Oh, are you dressed like a lesbian?"
Well, I mean,
And then you just
do you
started
blame
And the
spreading
answer is
that
always
around.
yes.
no, I don't think this is. I could see a lesbian dressing like this.
But she's got the khaki shorts on.
Wait, yeah, but
They're
The
not
length is
khaki.
too
that's
short.
that shirt. Do you know what that
These
shirt
aren't
means,
khaki.
though?
These are beige.
Is that a-
yeah, this says rock out with your cock out.
That's not a Latigra lesbian band.
No, this is a cock.
No, Erica's got a cock on her shirt, so she's not a lesbian so much today. But I can see how you would get there with that.
Your words, not mine. I didn't say nothing. I said not a word. I've been quiet all podcast.
Oh, you
Yeah,
really
so
have.
Because it's not about me. It's about this. Let's go. What's the
about
next
Erica's
question?
cock.
I'm
There is no
bored.
more
Next question.
question.
That's it. We're done. We did it.
I did want to update the listeners who I know are very invested in our Panda
Oh,
Inn
no.
plans. There is a Glendale location coming soon,
Oh.
so that might be
But
the
if
most convenient
but if not
option.
the
Wait, we're not
original.
going
It's
to a
gotta be the
Panda Inn.
original,
We're going
right?
to
We
the
don't-
Panda
We can't
Inn.
go to the original because the original closed.
But didn't they open up another one in its
Yeah,
place?
in Pasadena.
They opened
it's
up a
like
new
the
original one in its
spiritual
place. That
original.
doesn't.
But there's four.
But it's in the same thing.
Will Peter Chung be there? Will he be
God,
there?
I hope not.
I
because he's gonna hate us if he ever
also-
finds out.
I also learned when I looked at Google that people typically wait an hour for lunch.
Oh, no.
So I don't think next Saturday would be the best option because we would never make it to the cardboard games.
Yeah. Or we
So-
just have a late lunch.
We will just we'll update you guys when we're able to go.
Yeah.
We
Maybe
can't do
maybe next
reservations?
year at this rate.
I tried to find that, but there was no option. Maybe if you call.
Yeah, they seem very old school.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Write in with your questions. If you have ideas for guests you want to hear from, tell us.
Or if you'd like to help us find a time to go to
I'm
Panda
not
Inn.
complaining that it's over, but that felt like really a few, just very few
There was
questions.
two questions.
Yeah, there were two questions because I wanted to have time for the sugar daddy thing. I knew we had all these stories today.
Because
so
we haven't spent enough time
But
on
I-
We spent like 40 minutes on storytelling.
we
Richard
spent
was
30
gonna
minutes
go.
on
He was gonna
storytelling, and we
leave.
spent about 30 minutes on
I have to go.
questions,
I
which
gotta
is
go.
usually how it ends up. We are talking about other stuff for the first half.
You got a lot of talking in. I don't know why you're complaining.
No, I'm.
Is there something you would like to add into the
No,
episode before we go? I mean, we're
It,
not
to me,
running that
honestly,
far
it was
up.
two vaguely unsatisfying questions, and then a bunch of entitled millennials who want to fight and fuck
That's who called it a podcast.
with an
now.
old boyfriend. What be they want a BFF, a businessman, a rich businessman.
Well, technically 18-year-olds aren't millennials.
No, they want to.
No, I know that's why I wasn't
with a
calling the
large
20-year-olds.
house.
Though. They're not millennials
I
either,
guess
are they?
wealthy's
24.
probably-
So what are they then?
They're Gen Z.
Yeah,
Gen
they're
Zs.
lucky they don't have to be part of the.
Is that
fucking millennial
JENZI?
I know that pretty much
Did we have
every
a-
generation.
We had a Gen Z.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Gen Z.
Yeah, I named my Undertale character Gen Z because of that.
What is an Undertale?
Undertale? It's a video game.
Oh, sure. I'll take your word for it.
It's a new sexual practice.
My Undertale.
Oh no.
I want you
I
to
was like,
fuck
you're like,
me
you're like,
in my Undertale.
like your tailbone.
No, it takes place under a mountain. That's what Undertale like.
What console?
Not the
Tale
sexual
that happens
practice.
it's by Toby Fox. It's an indie game. You can get it on like everything now. It's like a
It's like an RPG.
Mother. It's like
Mother.
the game from like the Mother series, similar to not.
What couldn't be, because that's Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. I mean, Nintendo licensed it and owns the rights and stuff.
And
but
refuses to.
Well,
make
bye,
any more.
guys.
some of you may know it as Earthbound. Yeah, but let's go.
Bye.
I think we're spent for
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You have a question, story, comment, or whatever for the Awkward Human Survival Guide? We want to hear it. We read everything we get on the show, censored for your privacy if you wish, and might laugh about your problem because tragedy loves humor, but genuinely want to help you out. If you've got something to share with us, even if you think it's stupid, send it in as anonymously or proudly as you wish. You can do all of that at awkward.email. You just go to http://awkward.email. Oh yeah, and watch the videos on YouTube, youtube.com/awkwardhuman.